person anybody has been longest tenure as a regional chair, former president of AIOS and VRSI both. He has delivered 13 named lectures, has received 24 awards from state and national societies, even international awards. He was ex-director of Prasad, Bhubaneswar. So sir was the person who actually, what I understood, correct me if I was wrong, from a baby to whatever today Bhubaneswar is, it's all because of his efforts. He has over 203 publications on diabetic retinopathy itself. I'm not talking about any other thing. Endophthalmitis is another forte, but I'm looking at only diabetic retinopathy. And so many publications, books, chapters. He had 18 grants through various studies, and still it's continuing. And he held many honorable posts in national, international institutes. I think it's just a list is enormous. It's just a short gist of his achievements. And most important achievement, he is a good friend of Shankar Netralaya. Sir remembered the time when he came, and he was just telling, when Chief was there, he came for a day round, just one day, and spent at Shankar Netralaya. First thing he said, temple. So I think, hats off, sir. Please come. Sir will be talking to us on a very interesting topic, Liftoff. I won't open the suspense. Let sir lift off the topic. Please come.
Thank you, Rajiv. Whenever people speak about ABCDs of life, of my life, I only person I remember is my mother, and she told, oh, you can't do anything. So wish she was alive to hear Rajiv that, yes, I'm here. Well, this is my favorite hunting ground. I lived 10 years in Madurai, so at that time, no much flight. Either there are no flights, or certainly I didn't have money to fly. So take a train from Madurai to Madras, then a 10:30 train. I was born in Orissa, so Madras, Havana, Calcutta train, night train, Madras mail, 10:30 in the night. So this 6-7 hours I have to spend here without fail. And my job was to come and meet Professor Badrinath, and most of the times in the surgery room, and then watch him till 8:30, and then quietly escape, and then have dinner and go. The other time I had to work with Mary and Chandan Abraham, then Surendran, Sridhar Rao, late Sridhar Rao. Then I slowly started meeting JV, Lingam Gopal, Mona Vende, Pramod Vende, Vijaya Lingam. Then the newer generation like Rajiv, etc. Greece I met in Jalna, not here. But so life has been good. 3 days ago when Rajiv called me that, or 2 days ago, that I have to also speak this afternoon, I was a little uncomfortable, to be honest, Rajiv, because tomorrow and day after tomorrow took a lot of science. Then we don't have to talk science all the time, because science, taking too much, like everything is like a perfume. If you apply too much of perfume, then it starts smelling. It doesn't smell good, smell bad only. So let me talk something else, I thought. And seeing the audience, he told that really mostly young people like sitting to my right side. So it's mostly meant for you guys, not for, at least not for Professor Girish Rao, Rajiv Raman, and JB. And we call it liftoff. Liftoff is a word that when you fly off, then when the plane goes off, we say liftoff. Very local language. And in life, there's something liftoff. We have seen Adnan's song that lift kara de. So this is kind of liftoff. I don't know how much of Hindi you speak, and I might be using some Hindi words in between. Whatever you see a symbol there was actually drawn by me. This is the Arvind Eye Hospital's alumni logo. I designed it in 1988 when I was living in Boston, and I was myself thinking that how do I lift off? And I did not use the word that time, but then I said, as a fellow, I was doing international fellowship in mass eye and infirmary in Harvard. I said, why do you lift off? So I designed that one, and I'm happy that Arvind adapted it immediately, and they have not changed since that time. And then my life, all of your life example has to lift up some point somewhere. Unfortunately, I will only confine to the life I have spent. I'm 41 years old in ophthalmology, and then I have only worked in 2 places in my life, 10 years in Arvind, 31 years in Prasad. I worked with the governments, but not for the governments, both national and internationally. But I have met some wonderful people. I'm very fortunate to meet so wonderful people. Whatever life lessons I've learned from those guys, those my teachers, some directly, most of them, many of them indirectly, I will talk about them. If that helps you to lift off tomorrow or some other time in life, I will be happy. In life, we talk about 3, will become a juggler. You can't avoid any of the 3, actually. One is how do you grow personally? How do you become tall? Then all of you, I will address most to this side, so allow me to ignore all of you. When I was your age at Madurai, Professor Karl Kaffer from NEI director used to come very often, very close friend of Dr. Venkat Swami. And I will sit in the front row intentionally, as much to learn science, as much to learn how he speaks. Like most Tamilians are, excuse me for telling this, they don't speak. They only, what do you call that? Chennai Express. They speak so fast, so fast, so fast. I was like that also. I didn't know how to speak slowly, how to construct my slides. We did not have PowerPoint anyway at that time. So my job was to learn from Karl Kaffer that how do you speak well, choosing the right word, right sentence, right body language, so that you get connected to the audience. So that is a kind of a personal growth. How do you grow? All of you, when you see JV or Rajiv or Dr. Rao, then you'll think that, oh, when can I go and speak from the podium? But then requires some kind of a strength to the personal growth. At the same time, when you go home, finishing a day's work, your family, your wife or children, somebody waiting for you, that what about my family? When I was building my retina department in Hyderabad, I did not have retina department, was 0 when I joined in 1990. I will come home at 10:30 in the night, all the working days, Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday I'll go 9 o'clock, come at 5 o'clock, doing surgery. I was the only person doing everything for the retina. My father will get angry. Is it time to come home? I have only one daughter, one child. The time you go, she's sleeping. The time you come back, she's sleeping. Sunday, she's awake, you are also awake. So what was the life? But well, I am doing something for my personal growth. At that time, I didn't realize that I was neglecting my family. It took me quite a while to understand that you can't neglect your family either. But create a family harmony, just not a family, take care of harmony. To make them understand what you're doing is important, then they will certainly support you. And finally, those who are employing, let's say, this route today, has a professional reward. Whatever you do, are you getting rewarded? You can define reward what you want. You want a money only, you want a name only, you want either side, you want a clinical excellence, you want a surgical excellence, you want a research excellence, but somebody has to support you. Luckily, in this country, at least 3 I can name immediately, all are incidentally in southern part of the country. In that order of existence or formation, Arvind Eye Hospital, Sankaranthal, and LV Prasad are the 3 where they have given highest importance to professional reward. Otherwise, I don't think I would have done anything that Rajiv told about without a support from my professional body, particularly Dr. Nagarao. Similarly, for any of the sitting JV or Rajiv or Girish. So how do you combine the 3 things without neglecting it? The moment any of them falls down or not taken care of, then you might temporarily, momentarily become happy, but ultimately will not bring happiness at all. I personally do it myself every week. usually Sunday, I get up in the morning and think that what all things that I could have done last week I did not do. And then as an administrator in Prasad for 30 plus years, I used to call a meeting once in a year with separately nurses, a technician, separately fellows, and separately my own colleagues that this is 1 hour, 2 hours given to you, take your time, but then you tell me bluntly what mistakes I have done in past year, which I couldn't have done. I'm a human being, I'll make mistake again and again. Let me not repeat the mistakes. Because my grandmother used to tell that if you do the mistake one time, you are called human being. Call a mistake two times, you are called a pig. I don't want to be a pig. So that way, I have remained myself restless. By remaining restless, you actually improve. Improve for yourself, improve for the profession, improve for the family. When you grow, SN grows. When SN grows, you also grow. Sometimes SN can grow and you will be left behind. So that you're not left behind, you have to sow your professional growth along with personal growth so that you get rewarded for what you are doing. Otherwise, you will not get rewarded. So very important. Myself, I call myself very selfish because I don't do anything without a selfish interest. But selfish is not self-centric. I'm selfish, but not self-centric. And whatever mistakes I have done, a few hours ago, half an hour ago, talking to Professor Girish Rao about something, personal life, that have you done this? I said, no, I'm only 5-year-old, I have not done it. No, please do this because I tell this because somebody did not advise me when I was younger than today to do certain thing. Okay, I could not correct myself, let me correct somebody else. So that way, the world goes forward. Otherwise, if you select, when you become an administrator yourself, when you select a person to assist to work for you, please remember, never select a person who is less than you in height-wise, knowledge-wise, etc. Get a person which is better than you. Without fearing that of insecurity. Oh, if that fellow is better than me, then fellow will not take care of me. Don't worry for that. You have to, that way you improve yourself anyway. That way organization go to next level. If you find a person which is lower than you, or for a fear of security reasons, for a fear of failure, your own failure, that will select also like another younger, another junior, then whole organization goes down and down and down. Why Harvard or Bascom Palmer or Baltimore has gone better than Indian universities because of they don't put emotions to selection at all. Friendship is different, professional life is different. Select the best so that you grow. So please never forget your family, because you forget the family, then you will not be, if you are happy home, happy work. It cannot be happy work and poor home. If both are happy, I'm sure that without any reason, nobody can stop you getting professional reward also. So you have to grow taller. All of us are born very, very small. Now, could you all raise your hand like this? Raise your hand. Don't feel shy. Don't worry for Professor Girish Rao. No, you don't do it, Rajiv. Now, look at your little finger. All of you are born like this, you and I together. We didn't know anything. We didn't know anything then how to manage our life, what to do. Then we went to school. Then we started having knowledge. When you got the knowledge and some kind of life skills, you become powerful. Till this time, the growth, you're climbing the hill. Once you become powerful, two things can happen to you. You go to the index finger now, either you direct somebody to do a right job, or you tell somebody, "Malum hai main kaun hu?" So this is arrogance, and this is direction. So this is all fine. All of you are now either the ring finger or the middle finger, but don't become an arrogant index finger. Become a actually planned, compliant, directional index finger. This also goes all right. Then the mistake starts. Once you become an index finger, then you reach your particular height. A personal growth has happened. You start fear the fall. I will fall now. Many institutions in this country have not done well. I will tell you privately the story that I know of why they have failed. Because the eldest person, one called founder or builder or something like that, that did not want to leave for two reasons. One, If I go away, organizations will fall down. Nothing will happen actually. And two, if I go away, what will I do? Because I don't have any other work to do. So what you should do actually in life, and I have practicing myself, is that you become a thumb. Once you have gone to the index finger and so directions like this, then you climb down slowly, become a thumb, and ensure that when Dronacharya fellow wanted a finger from his good remote student called Eklavya, didn't ask anything, he asked only thumb. Without the thumb, the four fingers are useless. Hardly they can work. Thumb alone, also useless, cannot work without the fingers. You become interdependent. When you come down to the valley, you become a thumb, then you start supporting people. Because you are the guys who will take it forward the world. These guys are becoming thumb. At least JV is a thumb already. And Rajiv and Girish will become thumb very soon. Peace comes when you realize that you have to become a thumb. I built Bhubaneswar. Yes, Bhubaneswar is built because JV and I come from a similar area called East India. When Mr. Chidambaram was the finance minister, most correct statement he has made about the country was divided into four portions. One is called North, South, East, West. And if you belong to one of the regions, don't get offended or excited about it. He told this is a progressive South where you are, actually. And he called backward North. Look at the Bihar, UP, at least his time, if not today. Then he called affluent West, a lot of money. Have you seen that movie called Nobody Killed Jessica? The first, and the movie opens in a black screen. He said, if you're in Bombay, he will say, "Tu malum hai kitna paisa chahiye tumhe?" It's all money. It's all affluent West, then forgotten East. Nothing can be more true than forgotten East. How often in a school, the teachers say, let's go for excursion to Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, Tripura. They say, go to Rajasthan, Kerala. They don't talk about at all. When you talk about when in a Bangalore city, when somebody does leg pulling of those girls, boys from Manipur, Nagaland, because they look like they are a little different, ethnically different, then don't you feel bad about it? So it's forgotten East. The KPI, I know a KPI to how to find out East is developed. If I come from Orissa, ask anybody from Orissa. In Orissa, supposing say, Ghara Koti, Odisha. Where is your house? Orissa. They will not take Sambalpur, Cuttack, Bhubaneswar, blah, 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 all the cities. Ask a guy from Maharashtra, Jhumri, Talaya, Rajgang, Rajnandagaon. They will tell everything. It's because of a fear. I was talking to my good friend Gopal Gandhi, who was the governor of once upon a time to West Bengal. I was to live with him once in a while. He told the time 1863, when Britishers went from Calcutta to shifted after the Sipahi Mutiny, 1857, 61, 63, they moved to Delhi. Whole East India, including Calcutta or West Bengal, went down and down and down. The fear. Whole security, the confidence level went off. But Gopal Gandhi historian, he told that at that time, that was in 2006-7, I'm talking to him when I was in Bhubaneswar. At that time, 8 of 16 Indians, Bharat Ratnas, are from East India, either directly or indirectly. Then think about one more time. Who is your national poet? East India. What is your national animal? East India. Where do national flag come from? East India. Where does national anthem come from? East India. What is national emblem? From East India, Bihar. What did Buddhism spread to the world from India? Orissa, East India. So then why East India become behind? Because of confidence level. So if you lower your confidence, insecurity will not go away. Ukraine, talk about Ukraine. Why Ukraine is suffering today? It's because big mother, big daddy called Russia attacking them because they removed their defense. They removed, somebody told you don't need nuclear power, they removed, no, they cannot make them anybody afraid. When I was in that particular morning, I was in Fort Worth. I was in Fort Lauderdale in Arvo meeting, and India had the Pokhran blast 2 or 3, whatever it's Kalam, Bajpayee, etc. did it. My friends, particularly late Bob Nusenblatt, JV will know him. He's our same clan. They wrote, TP, India has an atomic blast. I said, yeah, I didn't know. I not in the TV. I don't know what happened. None of these all happened. So because Dr. Kalam was the person behind it, and I personally knew him for 25 plus years. So I called Kalam. He was not president, so easy to call him. I said, what happened? Well, tell your friend that that only the power recognizes the power. Now that you have done it, they will recognize this better. And that is very true. So personal growth is important. If you want to be tall in life, first thing that you will remain tall in life. I have got my own theory. Why South Indians are not as famous as North Indians, physically? Don't get offended. There are, Rajgopalachari also from here only, I understand, because of their height, complexion, curly hair, etc., etc. Why was Lord Krishna was made that way? I actually appreciate a lot of people, a lot of those mythological characters who designed it. Krishna was a shorter guy, curly hair and black in complexion. Ram also was like that. I think to unite the country like that. So we have to grow personally. How to grow personally, you will decide how to do it. Same time, in and young, you can't ignore your family at any time. You have to give a time to your family, whichever way they want it. George Waring, one the cornea specialist from Atlanta, Georgia, very prolific writer. You must have seen read his books in cornea, those who are doing cornea. I believe that he will, 6:30, he will leave his house, leave his office and come home by 7. 7 to 9, he will be in the home, have dinner with his 3 children and wife. 9:30, he will drive back. We're not very far away from his hospital in Atlanta. And from 10 to 12, he will work, and 12:30 come and sleep, Monday through Friday. Prolific writer. He did not ignore his family, but he did it. Carol Shield, Jerry Shield's wife. Carol Shield was my co-fellow in Philadelphia, and he got 700 plus publications. Whenever I meet, I have a time, feel like joking with her. Carol, 700 papers, what are you doing? We're just writing all the time. Well, TP, I have 7 children, 7 times pregnant. What do I do with your life? You to get maternity leave, right? Write papers, right? And this might be a joke for somebody else, but then actually she did it, 700 papers, and it's not easy at all. At the same time, you must look for the professional reward. Now, I say not award intentionally. It's not award, it's reward. Reward is somebody recognizes you without asking for it. Award is something apply for. There's a difference between the two words. So if you're in you choose the right place to grow professionally, and then your family is happy, that the organization sooner or later will certainly recognize you and give you the right award that you deserve. So these 3 things, personal growth, family harmony, and personal and professional reward, will make you the happier, healthier. You may not become richer, but certainly will be happier. You will not have diabetes. You will not have hypertension. You will not have asthma. You will not have stupid lifestyle diseases. How to define the people I know personally? When I say in the morning, I don't say good morning, normally. A very informal person, formal person I have never met before, I'll say good morning, Rajiv. If I know person well, I'll say, hey, Rajiv, did you sleep well last night? That's very important to me, because if you sleep well last night, whole day will go well, definitely. Sleep well is not the amount, time, duration you slept. Kumbhakarna was sleeping all his life. But important is quality of sleep. If you slept well for 1 hour or 2 hours, normally I sleep for 4 and 5 hours. I don't sleep much in the night. At daytime I don't sleep also. So, but important that I don't say a dream. I never say a dream. I don't know when I saw last a dream. I just slept like a baby and get up like a baby. That's it. So your KPI of happiness is, my KPI of happiness is, did I sleep well? The day I don't sleep well, I don't feel happy at all. To do all the 3 things, only one thing I have to do is virtuousness. If you are right in your heart and mind, then everything well. And then I will right now quote one of the famous couplet which Aristotle wrote actually in some year BC, but then Kalam, APJ Kalam, Abdul Kalam, modified it personally. I'll just use APJ because this was recited with him for several times. You can recite yourself. And in fact, if Kalam would have an ear, he would have told you, sing with me, and many would have sung with him also. That he said that when righteousness in your heart, there will be harmony in the house. Your heart is clean, pure. When there is harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. And then when there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. So actually all are interconnected. All come from your own purity. If you are pure, if you are intentionally not harming somebody, then I'm sure you will do well. The lessons of life that I have learned is that how to be patient. Don't be in a hurry to do certain things. There's a time you should hurry, and time should be very absolutely quiet. Wait for the experiment to be over, data to be analyzed, data to be published. Don't get frustrated, everything. Then how do you innovate from idea to innovation? And finally, that how do you never give up your self-pride? I'll just use the 3 people whom I have never met. I have read them, one mostly and then 2 partly. And let us look at those 3 people whom I have admired in my life. One was Galileo. Italy fellow, in 1861, he died of loneliness disease because he was imprisoned by the then Vatican, the then Christian organization, because he told that Earth is not the center, Sun is the center, Earth and other planets rotate around it. Earth rotates on its own axis also. He was penalized. No, whatever Copernicus told is not correct, and what you are talking is not correct. He was an astronomer, he was a physicist, he was so many things, and in 1632, he published his book called Dialogue, and then the Dialogue talks about all the things. And he was called, same year and few months' time, he was called to Vatican, and he was punished. And then you can't do anything else, and you have to, and he died of misery. But then he never gave up. He said, what I'm speaking is the truth. So you have the patience, then world will someday will come up and change you. Even if after you die, doesn't matter. Next one I picked up is called innovation. Today we talk about patent. And Thomas Alva Edison in 19th century had got over 1,000 patents. Talk about anything. Electricity, Alva Edison. Telephone, Alva Edison. Gramophone, Alva Edison. Just like that. He was just an inventor. And he was the first industrial lab he had it. He has a lot, and then he was not poor at all. He worked with Henry Ford, and they made, General Electric is made by him only. At that time, everybody wanted to call General. General Motors was Henry Ford, General Electric by Thomas Edison, etc., etc. And then he was just an inventor. And his invention was that put an idea, then execute it. There is a saying that suddenly he mostly lived in New York, and he will call a New York press reporters, okay guys, in a year's time you will have a gramophone. His first sentence he wrote, spoken in a gramophone, was Mary had a little lamb. And we will have, in a year's time we'll have a gramophone, he can record on his own. And they will all publish tomorrow in New York Times and Boston Herald, etc. And his friends will ask him that, Tom, did you have a lab for it? No. Did you have a drawing for this? No. Do you have money for this? No. Do you have people to work for it? No. Then why would you talk about it? Oh, well, what to do? I had a dream last night they should have something like this, which will be good for the world. And now that, guys, I have told this, let us go back and let us do this. We have told 1 year, right? We have 365 days. Let us go back and work backwards. And that actually works. This is called a Edisonian promise. That works well. Once his lab in New Jersey got burnt. All car raak ho gaya. So he called a meeting and everybody started troubling. I said that, look, guys, all our mistakes are now burnt and let us make new mistakes now. So don't worry. So we are here. That will all come. The third person I will call is self-pride. This is my personal guru. I have never met him. There is hardly a book that I have not read. And not while traveling, but at home, wherever I stay, I keep this my experimental truth next to me. And at least I read one sentence, one paragraph, one page before I fall asleep, because this person I can never fathom out. He had 205 mistakes, I don't worry. But the one thing I praise for is called self-pride. June sometime, he was thrown out of this train in Maritzburg in South Africa. Those who have gone and seen that station, there is a nice statue, there is a nice plaque that he was thrown away, etc., etc. He spent 9 hours, 9 in the evening to 6 in the morning, before he was rescued by the local blacks and browns of that area, and rest is most of this thing story. My experimental truth has not spoken more than this, that all he writes is that I was upper north was getting cooler, I was feeling cold, I was afraid to tell my conductor to give my blanket, which by my coat, which was in the, nothing, he just shivered there and wait for those 9 hours. What must have gone through him? This is my version, so don't contest it. 9 to 12, Gandhi must have thought like another human being, what the hell, I have money, I have power, I have people, I'll buy some gun, the conductor fellow threw me out, I will certainly, first thing I will kill him, then I use my people and my money to harass these Britishers. Next 3 hours between 12 morning or 12 midnight and 3 in the morning, when there's cold and he's shivering and he's feeling lonely, I don't know what I'm doing here. I have got a family, I have Rajkot hai, Porbandar hai, I come from a decent family, I had a Temple University, I have a law degree, I can go and practice in Bombay High Court. What the hell I'm doing here? Baad mein jaye sab cheez. Then between 3 in the morning and 6 in the morning, actually dawned upon him that what they call that Gyan, Dibya Gyan, that must have come at that time, that look, the first one, second one is suicide. I'm running away from the world. I'm doing a mistake, what they want me to do the mistake. I will not do either mistake. I will go beyond it. I will do something different, which they can't even imagine. I will not talk about it, what I'm doing. And when I'm there, just like a tortoise and hare race, I will be there where these guys can never reach me. And then he did what he did. If that is the end of Mohandas Gandhi, I would have been not surprised. When Nelson Mandela told that you send me a lawyer, I send you a Mahatma, that is really true. When he came to India, and he with his 5-piece dresses and met in Bombay in a big reception in 1934, 1934, when he came, or 24, I'm forgetting the date now, June 9 he came, I remember. Bal Gangadhar Tilak told him that, look, man, with this kind of huliya, you can't do anything for India. You take a train tour and find out. And he took a train tour, not 1, 3 times, third-class compartment with his wife Kasturba, and kept on shedding his dress. Ultimately, he was no dress, but he had something. Just imagine one time, 1947, August 15th, we got independence, when Gandhi would have told, I am going to become the president of India. Or that time they called Chakravarti of India. Anybody would have told no to him, whether it's Ambedkar or Patel or Nehru. He did not. He just walked away. I said, my work is done. Let me just go away from here. It is not simple to do that. It is build something and walk away from there. It's not simple. So you have a lot of self-pride. And I will, if self-pride is there, I am an Indian, I become Indian. To be Indian, don't have to be Kargil war to be an Indian at all. You have to be an Indian every day, every moment. So the life lesson from that, I will talk about the next 4 people, I will talk about that. How do you translate your dream? All of us dream something. How do you translate your dream? Then how do you enjoy what you do? Just now, JB was talking that enjoy what you are doing. And then find a solution, not think about a problem all the time in life. And finally, how do you respect individual dignity? Otherwise, the world will not go forward. These 4 people I personally worked with. So I will not speak more about it because they are nearly contemporary, must be knowing many things, but I will just go through them. The first one is Kalam. I worked with Kalam for 25 years. In fact, when I was President of India, I used to literally or physically live in Rashtrapati Bhavan and come to Hyderabad just to see some patients and go over to Rashtrapati Bhavan. All I told him that most of his medical ophthalmology talks that I have written for him, but quietly, I shall never expose me. And one day, 2006, September 27, I was in Delhi airport. He was already president, and I got a message from Biswas, JB Biswas, that TPI published my 200 paper. I said, yeah, come on, 200 paper. In 2006, I had not even 100 or 100 and something. I sent a text message to Kalam, his president. He will hardly see the message that JB, my friend, has published 200 papers and what I am doing here. So he did not reply. President of India did not reply, but I went back, and a month later, he showed me that his analysis, how many case reports, how many reviews, how many original papers, at that time, impact factor, not that he worked, his secretary must have worked for it. Then he had another drawer he opened, this is your nothing, Dr. Das, you are nothing, my friend, compared to your friend, you are nothing. Then he took a picture from the middle drawer, a picture of Bhubaneswar campus when it got inaugurated, and he was standing there at the time of national anthem time. So tell your friend we have done this, and he has not done this. So dream is not something which you dream while sleeping. Dream something which will not let you sleep. Actually, when I was building Bhubaneswar, did not let me sleep. At that time, one retired IS officer, professor, not professor, one Mr. Mahanti, I will not tell the first name. There are a lot of Mahantis in Orissa. Anybody from Orissa here, by the way? So you will understand my language. Khanti, Piyonti, Kahari, Nuanti. Are you Mahanti? Lucky you are not Mahanti, otherwise he would have killed me. Mahanti said, eat everybody's food, and they don't remember anybody. Khanti, Piyonti, Kahari, Nuanti. He told me that how many non-locals work. This was August, we opened in July, August of 2006. How many non-locals work here? I said there are only two. One is optometrist, one is a ophthalmologist, but both of them they can manage over here. Don't worry, sir. No, don't tell me that. I'm not worried about that language. I'm examined always by Professor so-and-so in South India. So how can anybody examine me? So, okay, sir, which part of South India, sir? No, Madras. Okay, Madras. Tamil na pesalama? Ah, you are a non-local guy. I told this Mr. Mahanti, sir, if I speak English, I don't become British, right? It's a language, that's it. Nothing else. He never became our patient. But that was kind of a agony I had. Nobody believed that it's possible to build a huge place of 96,000 square feet, looking like huge garden, etc., at that time in Orissa. So dream is something, and he's the one who pushed me that. He will always ask one question only. That question was, what will you remember for? I told my friend, actually personal level we used to call Kalam and Das only, but in officially we will call Professor Kalam, Professor Das and Your Excellency, etc., etc. Let us stay with Kalam and Das only. Well, I give lectures. Yeah, good. I publish papers, very good. I do good surgery, wonderful. So what? Will you remember for that? I said, what do you mean? Yeah, your patient will remember for a day. If something goes wrong, he will blame you all his life. Right? Not true. And then I started give big, nice lectures. Okay, they will come to hear your lecture because Professor Girish Rao told them to bring. After that, they will have a coffee and samosa. So they have come. Sir, I write. Yeah, somebody reads it also. So no, you want to remember for that thing. So do something different. And he only chose the idea that go to your chief minister, CM, even current CM, Naveen Patnaik knows me well, very well. I have a personal friendship with him. I said, you know your friend, go to Naveen Patnaik and there's some problem, I will speak to him also. Do something, take Prasad there. And that is how he pushed me. 2 years he pushed me that you have to do this. And today, and this is what we talked about, that this is how Bhubaneswar campus is. This is of Prasad 4 campuses is the best campus in terms of beauty. We got a huge piece of land, 10 acres of land, with a separate building for separate blocks of education, research, hostel building, and we have got a name. And for example, the hostel in Bhubaneswar campus is called Prerna. The teaching block in Bhubaneswar called Prayas, and now we're building something called Prayog. So, and then it took me pushed me hard to remember for. When I built it in 2010, 11, after 4 or 5 years, I said, it's time to leave. I said that, yeah, it's time to leave. Because I told him that I want to become a thumb slowly for Bhubaneswar campus, although I cannot grow. Okay, become a thumb. But then who knows what they have done? Yeah, sir, I have gone to, you know how much trouble I have gone through. Actually, I had 4 cases against me. 144 was applied against me because of land mafia. I had a lot of personal threat to my life. And I said, I'm not giving up. I said, I will pursue it to the last moment and let me see what will happen. And I actually met those mafias personally. I said, tell me what you can do and do what you want to do. But then they actually killed one of my workers also, but did not kill me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here. So then I told that, what do you mean I have done everything? You know everything. Yeah, I have done everything, but who knows it, that you have done everything? I know, yeah, because you told me, and I have gone through this problem. Maybe the Professor Rao, Nag Rao knows, your family knows, but nobody else knows this. So he told me, forced me to write this book. This is my first book in memoir book called A Flight Say Bumblebee. And he told me that he's the one who named it. He's the one who wrote the foreword also. He called it a bumblebee. Bumblebee cannot fly because of its physics. Heavy weight, short wings, it cannot fly. Bumblebee flies out of ignorance. There's a lot of power in ignorance also, that you cannot fly but will fly, so all of you can be bumblebee in your own way. I don't say that if you go to Orissa, go to Bengal, go to some other place to do something, but then wherever you are, you can be a bumblebee also and go beyond. Who will become happy when you become a bumblebee? Your mother. When a child does not do well in the school or college and comes home, the father will say, what to do here? I spent a lot of money, I gave him book and this and that, nalak nikla. The mother will say, don't worry, tomorrow she will do well, because mother's love is mother's love. So your mother will be happy, and if she's happy, believe me, you have a lot of peace. The next person I'll talk about, I worked 10 years with him, not directly. He was a cataract public health fellow. I'm a retina fellow at that time, became a retina consultant in Arvind Hospital. And he told very, very beautifully, if you go to Arvind, their Lyco building today, there's a nice engraft in a stone. It's called intelligence and capabilities are not enough. Many of us are intelligent, many of us are capable. But there must be a joy of doing something beautiful. So what is that joy? You decide what your joy. Nobody can force you what is your joy. And his joy was building something called Arvind. He retired, 58. At that time, he could have gone to a refraction practice. That's what people have done, or some cataract, but then did something different. So if you can do at the age of 58 or 60, you can do at the age of 26 also. I was very personally happy that in 2016, when I gave his name this lecture at Tamil Nadu Society meeting in Vellore, and he called that Translating Eye Health Pyramid, because working with Nag Rao afterwards, my Arvind days was Nag built this eye health pyramid from the data obtained from the APVRS study. Then how did we translate into actual action? And what we're doing today, actually translating the eye health pyramid. Arvind, what does you doing, or Prasad does, and some other organizations started doing similar thing, to the extent that even WHO accept this kind of different name they have got, but they accept it. Finally, I landed in Hyderabad, and I knew Nag from 81. We call him Nag, Gulapli Nageshwar Rao, and he just doesn't want people to call him something else. They call him Nag only. And 85, he told me, I'm going to India and going to build something. Then I said, okay, build it, your problem. You find a solution. Then 88, when I opened 87, I was there. 88 told me, no, I'm not joining me. I said, yeah, someday I will join. And 90 forced me to come. So he always says, Nag says that India has a lot of problems. But the beauty is that India has a lot of solutions. And the solution not necessarily jugaad. You actually real solutions you have got. Our solutions of equitable quality healthcare in a health system. How do you actually provide it? And based on that actually, and because of those ideas, today LVPEI is just spread over mostly 3 states of India. Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Orissa. It was only one state, Telangana, Andhra anyway. And my portion was entire, whatever you hear is all built by me personally. It is not mandate from LVPEI. I said, I will take LVPEI to Orissa, and then I will make it grow for a while. Then once it is so-called grown, then I'll become a thumb and come back. So I returned back in 2013 or 2012 and actually. When I was building this, that how do we do an equitable system of translating eye health pyramid, and this is what he learned from both Professor Badrinath and Professor Venkateswamy. Then he used them, translate into those beautiful ideas to actual work, and kept on building it and never went back to US. This is what I have done. This is what eye health pyramid is, that of LV Prasad system. They got a 5-tier from community blue to the Apex Center currently in Hyderabad, this is red. And then 2019 World Report on Vision, WHO published this data, that they call it a 4-tier, but it is nearly kind of similar. So there's kind of recognition that what India is doing, our the vision center to secondary center to tertiary center to center of excellence or higher level is all actually done. And this is what Arvind does, you guys are doing, LV Prasad does, Shroff Charity is doing, H.V. Desai is doing, Chitrakoot Hospital is doing, so that is how it kind of spread out. If this continue to spread like this, I'm sure that someday, 50 years from now, we'll be really empowered people. As a tribute to his teacher, Professor L.P. Agrawal, and then we made this paper, how do you, using this eye health pyramid, how do imagining a new eye care in India. That paper published in IJO, because you have a paper read in India, so we read it there. But then last year in the COVID time, 2020 COVID time, when everybody was doing too many webinars, I hardly participated in webinar. One, I don't know technology so much, and two, so much of time wastage, including wear a jeans but wear a nice shirt so that people can see you, and then keep on doing the same thing. I said, I'm not going to waste my time. Public health has been my latest passion for a different region. 1980s, when I was growing in Madurai, Barry Jones, London School of Public Health Hygiene Ophthalmology Department started in 1980s, and Barry Jones was the first director, and he was friend to Venkateswamy. He came to Madurai and met a lot of young people. I was young, and he selected me to become the India's first student in London School of Public Health. And I was a retina fellow. I refused. I was in tears, because for me, public health at that time was eye camps and eye camps and eye camps. That's what Arvind was famous for, eye camps. Today, they may not be doing too many of those. So that refusal has hurt me a lot, actually. So the mistake I had done, so I always tell the public health is important. Actually, few days ago, the Adjunct Foundation, Curious Foundation, they gave a lot of money, 100 crores to Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore for public health. I was very pleased that something is happening there. So I thought, let me write. I was, like Rajiv told, I was working with WHO for longest period of time for the entire Southeast Asia region of 11 countries, including India. I said, this is the only comprehensive, a really comprehensive eye health book on Southeast Asia, so it will help in policy planning, etc., of this. But then my greatest pleasure working in Orissa is not actually from Bhubaneswar campus. I had to fight with my board of trustees for a year and a half, 2 years in Hyderabad that allow me to build a hospital in a small little district called Rayagada, which is 180 kilometers northeast of Visakhapatnam. And this is a completely tribal district, Naxalite infested. And the people are afraid of going there. I said that if LV Prasad doesn't go, who will go? 2013, there were 11 cataract surgery done in Rayagada district by government notification of Government of Orissa, only 11. Today, this hospital, Rayagada, we do 150 cataracts a month. How is it possible? So when I built this, I said this is a travel place, so we must have, I had to raise a lot of money, of course. I was talking to Grace recently, that we call the JK Center for Travel Eye Health. 26% of the writing papers that you write or photocopy is made in this city called Rayagada by JK Papers. Do they do anything for the community? No, they don't do. They only take money from there. So we build this center for tribal eye health, and then we do a lot of secondary center work, mostly cataract, I will say. But then right now I'm engaged in doing a particularly vulnerable tribal group. There are 63 tribal communities in the country. The Government of India designated PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal group. 12 of the communities stay in Orissa. One of them community stay in Rayagada district called Dongriya. This is a Dongriya lady. This is the first pair of glass in her life. Look how old is she. First pair of glass, she got it. So this smile is the real professional reward. This is not an award. I didn't apply to get this smile from her. So this actually you talk about your professional reward, personal growth is all in one particular smile captures you. So what I do in Rayagada for the tribal people is actual. And now Government of India has decided to declare Bhubaneswar campus and this particular place called the Center of Excellence for Tribal Eye Health. And it requires from 2015, we established this, from 2016 I started working with tribals, so now six years. Then we have got 11 publications, but then more than publications, thousands of people have really helped in tribal who may have never gone. Even government officers are not allowed to go there because of tribal. They have all bows, arrows, and all this stuff. And I usually go there once in 3 months nowadays. At that time, I go once every month and spend a day or so or two there. Actually, I stay in that 5,000 hilltop hamlet. I stay there for a while. And now I don't speak the language called Kui, but then they understand me. Then finally, I'll come to this man whom all of you know. And this quote I shared by him by Lingam Gopal 2 years ago, last year actually, that I believe that Professor Badrinath will always say that do for this patient what you do for your relative. So treat a person with a dignity, he's not another person. I know whenever I correct a paper, in case you're doing the same thing, please don't do that. I had 5 cases. I said, no, I'm sorry. You said 5 patients. When I was doing my MBBS days, my professor, gynecology professor, they will taught me that don't tell cases. It's called this lady or tell the name, tell the village name, etc. Because if they are there, because otherwise you won't be there either. So treat the patient with dignity, and doesn't irrespective of how much their earning capacity or what disease, what caste, what they come from. So do this for your patient, what you do for yourself or your own relative. I was also pleased that last year when the AIOS gave this lecture on his name I called it Understanding the Science of Endophthalmitis, and we talked about that we published in IJO and then recently in Retina Ophthalmology, where from here Muna Vende and her students also participated in this particular this particular publication. They talk about that how the science of fungal endophthalmitis doesn't happen much. The 730 patients is actually the highest number in the world because nobody had got that many number. This more importantly got from 7 important centers from Delhi, Saraf Charity to Arvind Madurai to HP Desai to Bhubaneswar, from north, south, east, west, and we collected all. These are all consecutive patients. So this is a true tribute to Professor Badrinath because I told that there was science in India before Badri came. But what Badrinath brought is that science into ophthalmology. There was no much of science. But if you do not know a story, this is like this. When Professor Badrinath finished his FRCS, etc., in Canada and US, came to India, and Dr. LP Agarwal, but keep it in a storage because it should not be known too much. And he was asked to examine 12 patients in Delhi, AIMS, RP Center, all retinal detachment, and he only know how to wear ophthalmoscope, how to draw retina drawing, color-coded, beautiful drawing he made, presented in the afternoon to all the residents and faculty, etc., etc. And then a lot of clapping, such a wonderful thing. Then Professor Agarwal told him that we are sorry, your degree is not recognized by Government of India, we cannot give you a job. Took a train to come to Hyderabad, to Madras. Rest is all story, all history that you can think about it. So this is something many of you may not be knowing. Now, what these 4 people actually did, they had a purpose and vision. Each one of them actual builder, Professor Venkateswamy or Badrinath or Nagrao, they had a purpose. I will do this thing. They had opportunity. They had other options. Nag could have stayed back in US because he was already practicing. Badrinath could have gone back to US because he came from there. Venkateswamy could have quietly retired, do nothing. But they had a purpose, and they had a vision to do something better for the people. They are focused what they're doing, and they led from the front. Not that 11 in the night, only Professor Badrinath told that you have to go today. Dr. Das, no, I should go. Okay, we are not taking a train today. No, sir, I'm not taking tomorrow only, I'm taking a train. Then you can stay back. So I stayed back, and 11 in the night, we finished his surgery. Asked him, are you tired? No, I'm not tired, I'm exhausted. Very quietly told me, I'm exhausted. Then why are you doing this? But who else will do? I have to do it. I have to lead from the front. And I cannot stay back behind, okay, you do this, nobody will listen to me. So I have to do it myself first. They had a commitment. That I will remind you one more kind of synonymous word called compliance. So what are you? Are you committed or compliant? If LV Prasad starts morning 7 o'clock with the class, many people drag their feet to come to the class. Oh, so they are compliant. They are not committed to a quality education of LV Prasad Institute. I call them compliant. And there are two kinds of compliant, three kinds of compliant. One I call super compliant. Boss jo kahega wo sahi hai. And I call them in my Hindi word, I call them chamcha. Nothing more than chamcha. They apply the same rule. The rule is what, Rule number 1, boss is always right. Rule number 2, whenever boss is wrong, apply rule number 1. The boss is never wrong. Other one is called a obligatory compliant person who will fence-sitter, who will agree, not agree, depending on where hawa kidhar hai, BJP hai, Congress hai, AAP hai, vagara, vagara. Third one is non-believer. So, not bad to be compliant, but then I like commitment. So these guys, so the Badrinath, or Venkateswamy, or Nagarao, they are committed. I will do this. I will lead from the front, come what may. And finally, each one of them sometimes some risk. I will tell some stories which might, you can talk to people because this is all, but not in a public domain. When Arvind went in 1977, they went to get a loan from State Bank of India for 80 lakh rupees. Today, that 80 lakh maybe, today 5 crores maybe. And State Bank of India told, no, who are you? Why should I give you money to you at all? So they had to mortgage their house, the jewelry, etc., Nachiyar, Janki, etc., they had to mortgage their jewelry to get that money. And today, look what they are. And today SBI asking them, please, will you take some money? And they say, no, we don't need your money anymore. Thank you. So all will follow. If you are committed, you have to take a risk. I will do this, I will do this. When 1993, LV Prasad born in 87, I joined in 1990, middle. And then 1992, and we had this idea of APET study, Andhra Pradesh IDG study. The first population-based, scientifically done, very large study. And we had to spend 1 crore and didn't have any grant. Nobody will give a grant. I am the person, one of the person, I don't know who others went and told Nag that, well, Nag, don't have money. Do you think we should spend this much money for APET study? Lalit London are doing from Bascom, from Wilmer. I said, TP, don't even worry for the money part. I will beg, borrow, and steal. But this is going to take us forward, actually. Risk-taking ability, very important for any leader. Any leader. If you want to become a leader, you have to take a risk. So these guys had a risk of doing it. When Professor Badrinath met Sadhguru Shankaracharya and had to leave Vijaya Hospital, etc., he took a risk. I will take a risk and take it forward. If you have not seen it, you can see your archives and see it. It was a test house where when Badri and Mary and Chandran Abraham, Mary Abraham worked. Test house, two-room house. And from there, what you have grown, because of risk-taking ability and believing that, yes, I can do it. So all these guys had that kind of ability. You all belong to Yet-Sen. By just being Yet-Sen, nothing else, you are already powerful. And do not calculate how much your power. I will quote somebody whom you must have read or seen her movies called J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame, and she the one who told this in one of those 2008 speech in Harvard, commencement speech, Harvard University. And he told there's something I have to read it, I'll read for you, that if nice were written by Rudyard Kipling, I just modified it slightly, that if you all Sankar Nethralaya guys, if you choose your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who have no voice, if you choose to identify not only one with the powerful, but also with the powerless, if you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who do not have your advantages, believe it, then it will be Not only be your proud families who will celebrate your existence, your personal growth, professional growth, etc., but thousands and millions of people whose reality you have helped to change. 6 or 8 months ago, Dr. Nagarao talks about this incident very proudly. Once he was traveling in a bus from airport terminal to the baggage area in Vijayawada, very short distance, 10 minutes maybe, 5 minutes you can go. So one retired judge of Andhra Pradesh High Court told him, Dr. Rao, your assets are increasing day by day. And he got scared. I said, what, income tax is going to raid or what on me? I said, no, sir, I didn't understand. Well, millions of people, when I wake up in the morning, they pray for because they see the world better because of you or your organization. So your assets are increasing. If millions in LVPEI must be 3 millions in Shankar Nethralaya, maybe 4.5 millions in Arvind, because you are all 5 year. We are 35 years in Hyderabad, you are 40 years here and 45 years Arvind, 5 year difference, I know these stories. So you are already powerful just being here. Tomorrow you apply for a job, and somebody else apply for a job, somebody from X place, let's say Jabalpur, let's say Indore, because Rajiv comes from Indore. Indore is Shankar Nethralaya, forget the Indore guy. It doesn't matter how good he is. So they will take Shankar Nethralaya, because you are already powerful. So having that, gone to the power, you have to do what Professor Badrinath talked about, compassionate caregiver. You just cannot be arrogant caregiver. Irrespective of which city you work, which village you work. Unfortunately, many of us, at least Prasad happens, many of my fellows who are in big cities, both nationally, internationally, they have forgotten the word called compassionate care. And when you ask the question, why you are doing this? Okay, sir, private practice kar raha hu na. I don't think private practice kar raha hu to will not be uncompassionate. LVPEI is also private practice. Shankar Nethralaya is also private practice. Arvind is also private. It's only organized private practice for a common good. Where a profit is not taken back to home, profit is plowed back to the organization. We are also private. Nobody should say that we are government. We don't claim to be government anyway. In fact, you stay away from the government as far as possible to stay away. So please don't ignore it. And to do this, you don't need magic at all. You have the power to imagine to do better. You don't have to don't need me, don't need anybody else. You can do yourself, your homework can do it. All the stories that I told you, my friends, are just a ladder. But stories will not make anything unless you actually climb it. So climb the ladder, you have at least a platform. When I'm moving to 1990 from Arvind to Madurai to LVPEI, I was also, when people heard about it, at least a group from Calcutta and Bombay came to recruit me, and I said, no, I am not going. And I'm not going because I had a problem here in Madurai. I'm going because the mother is not happy because she could not speak Tamil language. They suddenly changed that time Ramayana from Hindi to Tamil, and my mother got mad. I said, "Mujhe chhod ke jana hai yahan par se." And she only went and made Venkat Swami and Nampramal Swami. I said, we have to go from here because your Ramayana has become now Tamil. I can't speak Tamil. I can't understand Tamil. You either inform Karunanidhi or we will go from here. So that was my reason. I said, look, I am not going to anywhere. And because I had known Nag for a long time and this, I will go this. And then they told me that, well, there's a cataract patient, there's a cornea patient, there's a contact lens center. What do you want to do? I said, don't worry. I'm not worried. I'm just only obeying my mother. And if my mother is happy, things will happen on its own. And it happened on its own, actually. I didn't have to do anything. I only have to work hard. Okay, working hard is easy. So till you grab it, don't say that I worked and failed. No. You have to run that spider story, no? Keep on doing it till you reach the other goal. So you have to keep on climbing till you grab it. Somebody will grab faster, maybe intelligent, maybe had opportunities. Somebody will grab later, but then God will not deny you. He will certainly take you there where you want to go. If you want to go, you are committed to this. And to do that, what I do in my life, that when I want to do something in my life, first thing I do is first close the doors. Only one door is open, nothing else. No option B for me. Either do this or first gaya tumne. If you close all the doors, believe me, it is written by Arvind Ghosh in Savitri. If you read a big booklet, big book, that open the next door for you, and you just go forward after that. So there is a lady or a boy called a lady luck or gentleman luck who comes in the odd time and knocks at your door. Don't ever confuse the noise. You have to open the door, say hi to the prince luck or the prince opportunity or the lady opportunity, and say hello. In Tirunelveli, when British time, there was one British priest, Christian priest, who suddenly thought that he will learn Tamil, and he learned Tamil in 5 years' time. And then when he was 74, and somebody challenged him that, what Tamil do you know? Unless you translate Tirukul into English, you don't know Tamil at all. And it is the best scripture in you have to translate in the exactly like Tirukul written, not like Tagore's translation of his poems. So he started translating. At the age of 75, he has to go back to England because there is a law of the land of the British, and his father superior will not heard all the things and will not complete the book. Every year father will ask, okay, superior will ask, what happened? No, 10%, 5%, 7%, 20%, nothing happened. At 99, 22 years after returning to England, father asked them, what the hell is happening here? Look, my dear friend, if you do not complete the job, you can't go to heaven. This job is given to as a mission by the God. Mission comes like that in your life only. And then who told you to learn Tamil? God gave you to learn Tamil. Who told you to translate Tirukul? God gave you to translate Tirukul. So he finished the job. Then he started intending, okay, he got hurt, and then he started actually translating it. It took a year and a half. By the year one, his personal year, chronological 101, he completed the job in a King's College, King's Cathedral in Cambridge. Book got released. Next morning, my friends, he died, as though he was just leaving to complete the job. And this is not a story. This is actually happened. So till you grab it, don't give it up. Don't never give it up. But once you have got it, don't cling to it. That's what I don't like to cling to. Your job is done, finished. You just let somebody else take it forward and just go ahead to this. So don't become a black hole. Black hole absorbs everything. Don't let out all the things. Then you should become one among the stars where you can shine yourself. Then sky is not the limit. It could be called beyond the sky. So my friends, if you have learned something from the guy sitting here, Professor Badrinath, who built this place called Temple, and then you have to lift off. Hopefully you lift off. When you lift off in life, never ever forget something. If it plays for you, I will be very fond of this particular thing. The lady I saw in Rayagada district, the lady in the front is one-eyed. When one eye operated for cataract, she's already double bent. And the lady behind is both eye cataract and one eye had glaucoma also, and cannot even walk. So this lady leading other lady that is reluctant to come to the hospital. So we somehow forced her to come to the hospital. You could save only one eye, otherwise a completely optic atrophy, you could not do anything. But when you do that, please do this. Oh, this voice is... Can you hear anything like this? I don't know, it's not loud enough. I don't know how much you can hear. They talk about that if you are a good man, then you should understand others. Your computer is not good. Can you hear it? Okay. So here I am happy. All right. So that's it.